Another van has arrived. Now we have 5 of these Chevy passenger van shuttle buses. The experiment is now not so much an experiment any longer. Awesome truck. We'll talk about it shortly. I think our mystery part has arrived for the Corvette. Alvin's getting his building opened up this morning. I want to give him another shout out for the effort he put into this truck. Now this will sound crazy, and I don't want to get the horse before the carriage. This truck turned out so good and so clean, and Alvin spent days buffing, sanding, getting the paint right, cleaning the interior. We're pretty sure the previous owner is buying it back. He was on the fence about selling it, but once we reconditioned it, went through the shop, I really, truly think his biggest pet peeve was he had some squeaks and he had some rattles. The paint was terrible. It had so many light scratches. He probably drove down a driveway that had branches. Oh, look at that. Woo! That thing looks good. I'm pretty sure between the little squeaks and rattles that we fixed, that Daniel and Brian did in the shop, and the cleaning and the paint and the service work and making the truck just what it should have been. The man spent like $60,000 in accessories and parts and pieces and a supercharger. It was a crazy amount of money that he spent on this truck, but nobody had ever taken the time to make it that 100%. It was like 90%. And again, he drove somewhere where it had a lot of scratches. We'll let you know, but I'm pretty sure he's buying his own vehicle back, which will be not the first time, probably not the 10th time that's happened, because people, once they get rid of something and they see it in a fresh light, a lot of times do come back. So we'll see how that works out. Also, we'll get a chance to play with this little toy here. For you that don't know how this works, I'll try to do a video and show you, but it is a magnificent piece of equipment. And hopefully we're going to get a chance to turn over the gravel over here and over there to save us a whole lot of weed eating and grass killing, and also get it graded out properly. Got some adjustments to do. I'm not an expert with one of these machines, but for anybody that knows what it is, this is an awesome piece of equipment. Very happy that we've got it to use. And if it does what they say it does, it's going to work out great for what we got to do around here and over there. So we will try. Show you one more time that I'm a wannabe farmer, but I'm trying to learn, and landscaper and excavator all in one. Got to put a different hat on. Can you give me some hats together, AJ? Which one's the farmer? Which one's the cowboy hat? I got my straw hat. That's farmer's hat.
Cowboy's solid
Yeah.
hat.
So as long as I carry like a gun with me on the tractor, then I'll be good on the cowboy. Oh yeah, it's farming too. Straw hat. Yeah. Then I'll give me a baseball cap, and I'll be the contractor. So the experiment truck is now another experiment truck. This truck got proper drive shafts, 8-inch kit, Fox shocks, crossover steering, track bar, brand new Mickey Thompson Canyon wheels, and 38-inch Super Swamper tires. This truck was already a rust-free truck. It does have some little dimply dents right here that it's had ever since the day we bought it. But it's got racetrack trim. It's a cool tan in bronze, brown, tan, gold. Everybody has a different determination of that. But the owner, Lyle, which we put in the video yesterday, which has become a very, very faithful customer of ours, bought this truck just to make sure he liked the square body and not go into his wallet so deep. So he bought this truck and drove it for a whole summer, or maybe even longer than a summer. The AC worked, all the gauges worked. I think at one time the speedometer got jumpy. We fixed that. Simple things that a square body has. It's locked. But it's got the blue interior, which is super cool. We showed you guys that yesterday. But how transformed is this truck now? It just looks freaking cool. So we don't know if we're trading this, buying it, selling it for them, but they have also got a crew cab, and now they are expanding some of their commercial equipment. So we're trying our best to handle everything from their toys to their stuff that goes out and makes some money. Speaking of that, we do need to finish up the lugs on this one too. I don't know why he didn't do that. Were they missing when he polished the wheels?
No.
You sure? I think they were. I think somebody commented on that. So guys, if you ever see wheels without lug nuts, I can assure you, AJ over there in his arsenal has hundreds, if not thousands, of lug nuts and caps and spikes. And if you like this truck and you want a spike on this wheel, we've got it. If you want red spikes, we can probably make it happen. But this is a low mileage F750 that we sold locally when it was basically brand new. Still basically brand new. It's 20,000 miles. We just did a thorough service on it. It needed a couple gaskets and seals and things that were just starting to seep. TJ was able to catch those, take care of that in the service shop. They got a fresh inspection, got a fresh oil change. The body has hardly had any use. This company was using it for pools. They probably used it for sand and backfilling. So it had a very little use. We polished the tanks out, polished the wheels out. And again, we got to finish up the caps. It's on Michelin tires. We got the fresh wood up on the top. And hopefully today we'll be able to find somewhere to take care of the tarp, because the truck is so nice. The tarp works, but it's torn. So we're going to get a new tarp put on it. And this is a money-making machine. Mike researched these. These trucks are new, and I think you have to order them. I don't think anybody's got them in stock. Maybe they do. It's a big world. But at the time when we sold this one, they did not. $150,000. This one's $79,000. Basically half price for a 20,000 mile truck. It is diesel. Some people asked, is it? It is diesel, yes. Just an awesome contractor truck for half price. And we do need to reach out, AJ, to the construction company. Matter of fact, I'll text pictures to them as soon as we get out doing this. And let's go next door. Let's open up over there. And I got a little bit to talk about, just about ethics, about sharing information, and something that took place yesterday that I want to talk about. So AJ's gonna clip all this together. We'll be back. It's officially a Wednesday morning that is overcast, and we may finally get some rain. I know you farmers out there are dying for some rain, as are we, because the dust situation is terrible around here. We've got construction going on again today. And we got a few updates in here that some decisions have been made. So one, my Uncle David stopped by yesterday and we started laying out this kickboard here, which will be around the whole base. Now I went a little thick with this, but because of the fact that these floors here, we're going to stay on top of them. They're going to be mopped and cleaned every week. This right here should hold up really good. It's kind of a polymer board, almost like what you would use for decking. He's got to angle it, trim it a little bit, but it's going to work out really great. And it'll go up just high enough. Like with anything, it had that peel and stick stuff down bottom. Matter of fact, when I sent David to go get the stuff for down here, he brought back the peel and stick. And I said, nope, I've used that stuff enough times. We're not doing it in this building. So going a little higher caliber. I hope that holds up and it will never rot. That will be there when the rest of the building is not here. We did put Ghostbuster inside. And Alvin's will come over here first thing this morning and we'll cross our fingers that our little scuffs come off the floor. That still bugs me a little bit. But I will tell you, I think I know what a person on drugs feels like sometimes, because it was hot the other day and I was looking in the sun. I was screwing with the palm trees, which are officially, I think, dead. And I came in here and I literally thought a pipe had busted and I was standing on water. I backed back out and people probably thought I was freaking crazy because I looked in here. When you look at this floor, and it's got this little stain right here where we did spill something. We need to wipe that up too. You think you're stepping in water. And I was like, holy Jesus, the pipe's busted, because we do have a pipe right here. And all I knew was we had water all over the place. I freaked out. I danced backwards out of here. And the people were over there. They're letting their dog take a poop right there. That's a popular dog pooping spot, I guess, for the apartments. Oh, man, that was... Yeah, yeah, they don't poop there, though. They poop down too far. Maybe that's what killed the trees. So we got this little area back here, and I keep trying to configure this, and that's the other thing I told Mom when we were traveling the other day, figuring out these offices. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a part of a shelf. But we got this area here, which we've got to paint the walls, and I'm hoping that we can make this into what I thought we'd make it into, which was kind of a little studio area where we can keep our big computer up that we put over in the other showroom and never used. So that's kind of the thought currently. Also, in exciting news yesterday, closed on another property, which was an ongoing deal for almost a year. And when I do these videos, guys, obviously, you know, part of it is we got to sell things. Part of it is I want to show you cool stuff that comes in. Part of it is I want to share with you guys that are trying. And what reminded me that I'm not doing that as much in these videos, and you guys tell me whether you care about it or not, is yesterday afternoon, about right at 7 o'clock, I was getting ready to walk out the door, and I had the phone ring. And this guy had found a YouTube video that I did about the ups and downs of the auto business. I don't even remember doing that video, but it's probably within the last few years. And he says a really detailed video about the ups and downs of getting in business and all this. And I said, man, he just was looking for advice. I said, man, I'd love to talk to you. So I'm getting ready to walk out the door. He said, dang, you closing early? And I was like, no, it's 7 o'clock. Well, he was in California. It was only 4 o'clock. And he said, okay, man, if you give me a ring back, I'll tell you what. I said, I'm going to put your number down. I'm going to call you. I'm going to drive home. And I'll talk to you. So I called on the way home, and he's a fresh business. He started off, and he's like, man, he said, you really downed somebody starting a business. And I was like, well, I didn't want it to come off that way. Anybody that has passion to do something can do it, but the cost of things these days. And he stopped me. He was like, man, I already know. He said, I was doing it on the side. I was flipping cars, which is illegal. We've talked about that. He said, I went to doing it right. I got all my right stuff. He said, man, it's tough. He said, I can't get inventory. I can't get help. Expenses of fixing things. I said, man, that's pretty much everything I probably went over in that video. He said, oh, you did. He said, that's why I wanted to reach out. You know, I just wanted some pointers and I wanted some things. And, you know, I'm learning more about what my dad did. And I told him this. I said, look, he said, you guys have been in business 50 years. He said, you don't sound 50 years old. I said, I'm not. I said, my father started the business, and probably about 30 years ago, roughly, as soon as I graduated, I kind of took things over. It never really was official that way, but Dad just kind of decided, hey, I'd rather move cars around. I'd rather cut grass. He kind of went backwards. He kind of regressed. It's his business. He could do what he wanted to do. And I kind of progressed and just took the reins of things. And it was a smooth transition. It worked out really well. Had Mom there pumping out the paperwork. Everything in life just happens for a reason. But I told him, I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to tell you something. And I haven't mentioned it a whole lot. And I want to put it on here. I was always against my dad giving advice. I was always against my dad giving trade secrets out. It's our industry. Like, we did not have what we have today at one time. We were across the street in a shed trying to sell minivans. Anybody could sell minivans, but people had better businesses, bigger businesses, more employees. I was washing cars. I was moving cars. I was putting gas in cars. I was putting tires on cars. Brian came along. Brian started doing that. I picked up the sales side. We had, employees come and go. When my dad would tell people what we did and that we were doing okay at it, I was offended by it. I thought he was going to tell somebody and they were going to open up bigger and better than us, with more money than us, that could do more things than us. And I always kind of shunned that. Well, I've learned to release that a little bit. And with this guy, I said, you know what? I said, one thing that has made me change that, and I said, that's why I don't mind talking to you. And I stayed on the phone with him for about 45 minutes. He was just asking questions. What should I do about this title? Do it the right way. What should I do about this car when it has a problem? Do it the right way. He was honestly not really sure to do everything the right way, which is crazy. But that is how every single solitary person seems to be in this industry. But I said, when my dad passed away, it was during COVID. It was a tough time. It was a weird time. So many people pulled me to the side or called or text that said, you know what, JW? He said, you don't probably know this, but I almost closed my business, or I almost went out of business, or I was not even in the car business, but your dad gave me some advice and I got into it. And now look, I got a livelihood. Or, hey, I was doing things the wrong way and your dad pulled me to the side one day and said, hey, you realize that's not the right way to do things. You need to do it this way. And those things meant so much to me because he touched those people in that 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes of time. I bought a piece of real estate from a guy that I didn't even know knew my dad. And at one point he was in the car business. And he said, you know what, Jeb, your dad talked me into being in VIADA, which is the Virginia Independent Auto Dealer Association thing that we just went to. And he said, I would have never been in it if it wasn't for your dad. And I thought it was a waste of time and money. When he talked me into it, he said, but I got the best advice ever. He said, I got so much out of it. I learned so many ethical things in the way you do things. And, owe that to your dad. And he said he had a successful car business career. And, just there was so many things like that that allowed me to spend the time with this guy on the phone that I didn't have much time. That's my quiet time driving home. That's my time to talk to contractors that are doing roof jobs and plumbing jobs or whatever they're doing. That's my time to catch up with friends that I don't have time to catch up with during the day. Sometimes I'm watching TikTok or watching our YouTube to make sure it went up or that everything went together smoothly. And I got on the phone with that guy. He was so appreciative. Like, he was blown away. It was just a good feeling thing. So back to that property deal. So that's one of the things when I want to say something about following through. So that was a year in the making. And the situation with that property was, and I know a lot of you guys are inspired to do lots of things out there, not just the car business. Real estate's obviously a good one. This property deal had been hanging for a year. The reason was they were behind on taxes. They came to me and said, JW, could you help me out? I said, well, I can't pay somebody's taxes. I said, but if you would like to sell the property, I'd be interested in the property. Well, I've got 6 heirs. So man passed away. I guess he had 5 or 6 kids. The kids is who was left to. One kid was living in the house. The kid was not paying the taxes. He said, well, how would that work? Could I stay there? I said, absolutely. You can rent the house from me. I can buy the house. I can catch up the taxes. I can do a little bit of fixing up to the house. He said, well, yeah, but some of the money's got to go here and there. I said, that's fine. That's for the attorney and lawyers to figure out. This is an interesting one. That's why I want to share it with y'all. So normally we can close on something in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 30 days, depending on what's going on the other side of things. Well, why did this one drag on for a year? Well, one of the children, one of the heirs, has passed away. And their portion of that property was left to their child, which I think was 12 years old. A minor cannot sign a document. I guess there was no official, I guess there was no official paperwork of who got what and how much is and all that. So it was literally like a 5 or 6 way split. So the attorney had to get a guardian to make sure that one, the minor money went into, I guess, an account. There was so many facets to the deal. Well, I did end up having to pay the taxes forward at that point because it was going to get taken by the county. And I did have to catch up on some other things. And here's the crazy part. When you close on a piece of property, a lot of people don't realize, if you have outstanding things, those outstanding things have to be taken care of. And one person got no money. One person got, $30,000. One person got $50,000. One person got $12,000. It was so ironic how all the monies, but the attorney had to go through that, not times one. Normally I'm buying something, say from AJ, if he's got some outstanding taxes or something that's got to be caught up on or whatever, or a garnishment, that stuff has to be paid forward. Well, they had to track that times 5 or 6 people, which was, that thing went by here yesterday like that. I don't know how it's lasting. Somebody's riding around a Tahoe that sounds like the rod's about to come out of it, and they passed by here yesterday when me and Arnold were out here. So anyway, we need to make sure we get the BMW back. We got 2 people now from Chase, so hopefully he'll get that back this morning. We can send him with whatever. Long story short, don't give up. Don't ever throw in the towel. It was frustrating. I was paying money. I didn't own something. It was all documented very well. We would have had a lien against the property if something went sideways, but it took 1 year. And I'm not a patient guy. Daniel reinforces that more than anybody, and I think he can retract that statement a little. I've become much more patient in time, very much more patient. But there was a time where if a truck arrived, I wanted it on the lot now. I wanted it lifted yesterday. If my car was going racing, I wanted parts to be here before time could even produce them. I wanted them here. So I have learned patience in my age that I didn't think I would ever learn. And AJ is dying behind the phone because he has seen it. Christian's time here was one of the times that it was the most frustrating, because in our business, we got to let you guys see these vehicles. If y'all don't see these vehicles, you have no clue that I own it. If you're in Brazil or Texas or Florida or Australia, you're not driving by to see me have this F350. So I stressed to Christian, I said, Christian, we have this little ball of customers that come past this park. We do have a lot of traffic, but we have this little ball of customers. If that truck's sitting out there and you haven't taken pictures of it and put it online, this monumental size area doesn't know. And he had a hard time grasping that. He finally caught on because I made him start catching the phone calls. When we put something live, there can be phone calls within moments. If we put something on the internet, Facebook, Instagram, within minutes, we could go years without somebody driving by saying, I need a black F350 on 26s. But within a few minutes, we can find them by putting on. Have you figured out who that is?
No, every day. Every
single day, going and coming. Hopefully they'll comment. You guys comment if that's you that's driving by in that lighting company truck. Exciting news, the sign. The sign's finished. We got to go pick it up. 4:30 today, we pick up our new sign. And the lights are on, and everything's looking good with that. Jimmy went by and checked it at night. I think it's going to be lit up just fine. It's going to look really good. But anyway, we thankfully closed on that property. The man gets to stay in his house. It worked out good. It's another good piece of real estate. Thankful that that worked out like it did. But golly day. And the signing of paperwork was immense. The only piece that was easy was when she said, you're done. Here's your paperwork. But sometimes things take a little bit of effort. Don't hesitate to put that effort in. That's the other thing I reemphasized with this guy yesterday on the phone. I said, it's not going to be the easy pick it up, buy it, flip it tomorrow. That's not going to happen in a lot of cases. You got to put forth the effort and take that time and, do your window stickers, take care of your customers, follow up with things. It goes a long way, and it goes a long way with real estate, auto, pretty much anything that you're doing. It just goes a long way to do things right, proper, and ethical. Now, we got a couple other things today across the road. Me and AJ are striving to try to get one day ahead on these videos. You guys realize the video didn't go up till like 2 or 3 a.m., right? 5 a.m.? All right. So AJ spent the night tirelessly getting the video loaded, and it finally went live. It's nothing we did different yesterday. It's just the way the upload, the internet. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it has something to do with them working on these power lines, but we're trying to get one day ahead. So you may not see as live action, but we want to try to. I've watched a lot of other YouTubes, and they all are producing 1 and 2 days out. That's so that it can get online. And here's your tip for today of your YouTubers. Even though we try and strive for a daily video, and we will continue to, we don't want to give up on that. It needs to sit there. Those guys are loading 24 to 48 hours ahead of time. So YouTube gets a chance to look at it, figure it out, find its algorithm, and then put it where it needs to go. And you guys are following. You guys that are subscribed find us anyway. But we also want to find those guys that don't know about us, of course, as well. And by having YouTube do all that searching makes a huge difference. Let's go over here, pause it real quick, AJ, and we'll wrap this up. So while we're over here by the Fummins conversion, if you guys have not seen the video on that, you ought to go back and watch it, especially if you're a car guy. Extremely detailed video. Ford with a Cummins. Look at what the difference little headlights make. If you watch the video or look at the pictures of it, did you rephoto this one with the headlights? Okay. So much of a difference. It's like taking cataracts off your eyes. Like, it is amazing. Now, it's not the easiest thing to put them in, but Dave, our Ford guy, has no problem putting them in. Huge difference. We also got all the lights working around all the side steps and down the side here, which was also not the easiest task. Also reminds me we got to get the lights for the F650 project that's getting painted, because I ordered all new lenses for that truck. So it will look great when he finishes it. But guys, anything you need, anything you ask for, please call. If you want pictures, if you want videos, if you want extra text, if you want documents, just remember all you gotta do is, that was funny. You don't hear all that. You don't hear all the funniness now that we use these mics that you used to hear. But we got a great inventory right now. We got a little bit of everything. Oh, the Raptor. People have asked, where did the Raptor R of Cletus's go? There it is. Sitting up front, actually cleaned, none of my junk in it. 2 big excursions, lots of new tow trucks. Thanks guys for everything. We'll be back at you tomorrow. We'll try to get these videos knocked out, so we'll be ahead of time so you guys don't have to worry. We will continue to bring you a daily video. Davis Auto Sales in Richmond, Virginia. Davis Drives on YouTube. Davis Off-Road for all your parts needs. Thanks a lot, guys.